Welcome everyone to yet another Cave Divers React. There's the two of us this time around. Last week, Woody was hosting the show because I've never been to Fangorn Forest.
Can't wait till you get there with me. And
But
it was emotional. You let me do that, and I really appreciate that you saved that for me. That was special.
Absolutely.
A special moment in my life. But I can't wait till we're going to be there together.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. This video that we're going to be reacting to today, I don't think many people watching this show have seen this one. Like we typically do videos that are very popular and people want us to react to, like when we did Sanctum, or when we did, the instructor, the rescue instructor that was beating up on his students. A lot of people had seen those before because they were outrageous, and a lot of people have seen it. This one I only found because I listened to a podcast. It was an interview with Lamar Hires, who owns Dive Right.
Dive Right.
And who's a ridiculously legend of a cave diver.
Well, some say he developed cave diving. He helped
Right.
develop the procedures.
Right. So on that interview, he was talking about how he was involved with a TV show called Rescue 911, and he was one of the actors that was basically involved in the reenactment of this thing that happened.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, I gotta go find this out. But then they were talking about how it was so long ago that it was only on like VHS or something. And I'm like, look, I'll buy a VCR. Like I have to find a way to watch this thing. Luckily, I found it on YouTube. Like everything is on YouTube. So we're going to be reacting to this. You've never seen this.
No.
Although the host of the show is somebody who I know you're a big fan of.
Idol. I grew up watching Star Trek. I mean, literally, I had to watch it. It was on Saturdays. It's the longest running TV series ever, by the way, is Star Trek.
So
this Captain Kirk, to me, is, I know you told me he's in it.
Yeah.
Wow. My idol.
It's awesome. This is a little bit of a long video, so it will be a long reaction video, but this really happened. This is legit, and the reenactment is amazing.
Great.
So watch this.
For most of us, help is only a phone call away. What can you do if you get into
You raise the volume a little bit.
I'm William Shatner. Tonight, true stories of dark despair and unexpected heroes on Rescue 911. We begin on May 19th, 1990, at a campground just outside Gainesville, Florida. As an afternoon's adventure turned to tragedy.
Oh boy.
There were 4 other divers plus myself. We were all certified divers going out to have a good time.
Look at Lamar.
That's Lamar. His son looks exactly like him.
Galvin, along with 4 friends and former students, had driven to a remote campground to go scuba diving in a freshwater spring.
Spring hopping is when you go out and you're just going to see what the basic springs around here have for the diver. We were looking for just a general shallow spring that's fairly well open. We wanted to see a bubbling spring.
So they're all going in with regular open circuit.
Is that
Each
Eagles'
diver has their
nest?
own reason to be there.
No.
Mine is just to get away from it all.
So regular open circuit,
Dan
single
Infinger
tank.
had made 53 dives in the 5 months since he'd been certified.
Each place that I go to, I'm looking for something new. And I really didn't know what to expect. I just wanted to see what was there.
So far, I don't see any lines being laid, but
The spring was fed by a system of caves and tunnels which lay more than 40 feet below the surface.
The crevice is the first part that we went into. Straight down, because it's so shallow all the way around.
that's not the Jenny Springs crevice, is it?
I don't think so.
Not that.
I don't think this is Little
At
Devil.
the bottom of the crevice, there's a line of rock on one side, and there's a cavern opening on the other side.
One of the things that you're always told when you're an open water diver is never to penetrate caves.
That's true.
None of the 5 divers had the specialized training or equipment needed for cave diving.
Including Lamar at that time.
I could
Is this
see
Lamar?
that it went back.
Okay, so Lamar is playing a regular diver. He's not Lamar in the video. He wouldn't be doing this if it was
I was
Lamar.
wondering.
He's just an actor,
Oh,
right?
okay.
He's just being an actor.
That confused me. I'm like, no way would Lamar do that.
Right. No, Lamar was just one of the people they used to reenact the video. These
Okay.
are all just new divers.
So this is a reenactment of something that did
Something
happen.
that happened in 1990,
Okay,
yes.
thank you. Sorry, I was
Yeah.
confused on it. 'Cause I'm like,
Sorry, I didn't
there's
explain
no.
that
Why,
better.
I'm like, where's the lines? Where's the
Lamar
lights?
will
Why
be-
are they doing one tank? You know?
Right.
Okay,
Lamar will be
all right.
dominating this if he was legit.
Gotcha.
No, he's pretending to be a brand new diver. I think he's playing a diver. They said he has 53 open water dives. That's it. So very newish diver.
And these okay now I get it. And these guys are going into a cave.
Yeah, again, they're with an instructor. I think. I think the person in front, she's the most experienced. I don't know if she's an instructor, but they're not supposed to go in the cave. Again, she'll explain a little bit more.
Gotcha.
better. But I just wanted to make sure that these guys were legit divers doing the reenactment, but they're playing brand new divers because they're reenacting what happened.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Back a little ways, and I wanted to just look inside the entrance and just see what was there.
I noticed that Dan was looking at the cave entrance, and I just
No,
shook
no.
my head no. He gave me the
Okay,
okay sign, and everybody
No,
else
no,
looked like
no.
they were doing
Good.
fine.
That's good.
I pointed to my gauge and up.
Time to go up. Okay. Time to go up.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah. Good
Not
luck with
much
that.
to react to right now. Seems that's what you should do.
Yeah. Except.
Good.
Where's everyone?
Just before I broke the surface, I turned around to look, and nobody else followed me.
Uh-oh.
Dun,
I hope they did it in
I
an
knew
order.
they were going
And
into
say
the cave,
okay, but went in
and
anyway.
there was nothing I could do about it.
Watch.
Two divers had just moved up a little bit and looked at me, and at that point is when I seen one go in.
Oh no.
It seemed like that's no big deal.
They blew
you know,
her
it's
off.
really clear in there, and that's when I went in.
Oh man. What are they doing?
Once I entered the cave, I knew I was going to catch hell from Jackie when we came back out. But
Rightfully so.
knowing that you went one direction, all you got to do is turn around and go
Look
back.
at their kicks.
There was
Look
really
at their
no alarm
kicks.
at that point.
Stop. Oh my goodness. This thing
This
must be
is-
silting already. There's no line, right?
No.
Okay. So understand that this guy's flutter kicking hard on the way in. I'm not kidding.
like every new diver, basically. He's
Well,
kicking like every new
he
diver.
doesn't know
would
what to
kick.
do.
Of course.
And they're going inside this cave.
Right.
Probably with one light.
But it's something important he just said. He said, I knew I was going to catch hail from Jackie. However, I knew that all I have to do is just turn around and get out.
Oh man.
Like, it's not a big deal.
But how about Jackie going to the surface? Can you imagine if you're the instructor what you feel at that moment? Your heart sinks like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. And the worst
And
part
here's
is
weird.
that
She went right to the surface, by the way. I don't know if there was a need for a safety stop or anything then.
I think
can't
she
help
said she
it.
was at 40 feet or something.
Okay.
So,
But-
but the
that is
the
so
interesting part is that, and they showed it on the reenactment. That's why I'm saying these guys did such a good job to just be divers and not actors doing this
I
thing.
know.
They're
I'm,
doing awesome,
I'm
right?
believing this. Like,
Even the kicking, like we know these guys know how to frog kick. Like, they're expert
Yes.
cave divers, but they're like
They're
bicycle
really
kicking
acting
and
it
stuff.
out.
They're doing a good job. It seems like in the reenactment, she's like, "Let's go up, let's go up, let's go up." Okay, and everybody's like, "Okay, bye." Like,
but they gave her that kind of.
yes.
Oh,
So she
man.
did her job as an instructor or whatever, but she should have stayed with them for sure. I mean,
This
let's
is
just
gonna
keep
get-
watching.
I know it's going to get bad, but go for it.
This happened
Everybody,
for real.
seemed
By
to
the
be
way, it's
having a
not a
good time.
movie. This is legit. Oh
Look
my
at this silt.
I was quite mad at that point. I've told people over and over and over, there's nothing in there to see except dark. There were a lot of bubbles coming up, so I didn't have any real concern that they were out of air or anything. I figured they'd be right back out.
Bet you she was so nervous.
You find yourself going deeper and deeper in and seeing what's next. Chris was leading, showing around different crevices and things.
I bet you that already if they turned around and they're in trouble already.
Look at all the silt. Look at that frog kicking. Oh!
Wow.
I stopped to look at my gauge and looked up, and there were no divers.
He just looked at his gauge and then looked up and they were gone.
Which, by the way, that's how quickly that silt
Absolutely.
could silt out.
our flippers
Gus, we've
had
been in the
stirred
silt
up
down,
everything that was
going
behind
to
us.
Woody's room. You can't see anybody.
Cloud.
You can't see anything.
Even
And
if they're
it's
right in
funny,
front of you.
It's funny that you mentioned Woody's room because I want you to keep watching and see if you spot the connection.
Okay.
Came over all of me. I couldn't find the cave walls.
Look at that.
And this is what it looks like. They did such a good job.
It looks so real.
So real.
You can't see anything or anybody. Listen to that.
Out of nowhere, there's light up in the ceiling, and it got brighter and clearer.
Okay, that looks
I
like
just
an
thought
exit.
maybe I was heading for heaven when I realized I just come out of the cave, and out of sheer luck, I'm alive. When I hit the surface, I thought I was the last one coming
That looks
out.
like Lamar, by the way.
Yeah.
When she said that everybody was still down, I was so scared
Wow,
for
they're
them,
so young there.
knowing what was there.
I considered going back down into the spring. However, I had a very low-filled tank. I didn't have a light. I didn't have a line. And that's all standard cave diving equipment.
Yep, it is.
At the nearby campground, Bob Weeks was at a Continental Water Company picnic with his family.
I noticed there were two divers there. They looked concerned.
He asked me if I was cave certified, and I said no. He asked me if the others were cave certified, and I said no. And he said, I'll be right back.
Wow, that's very interesting. Whoever that is knew they should or you should never be in there unless you're cave certified. So somebody there had knowledge of the complexity needed to go in there. That's
And immediately,
amazing,
right? Like, wait,
he's like-
are you guys in trouble? Are you cave certified? Immediately.
When he said,
He
when
knew.
they said
It wasn't like, are you an instructor
Yes.
or are you advanced open water? No.
cave,
Are you cave certified?
and how about the second they said no, he's running.
I'm out.
He's already like, uh-oh, we got
This
a
is-
problem.
this is
That's
bad.
how serious it is, everybody. Like, you can't go in these caves without that. Wow. Who was? I wonder who that was.
Just watch.
A friend of mine, Woody Jasper, was at the
Oh,
picnic already.
okay.
He's one
That's
of the
Woody
best
Jasper.
cave divers in the nation.
Enough said.
Woody's room.
Woody Jasper knew that there's a problem.
That's Woody's room.
No, he's legendary.
Yep. That's where that comes from.
Woody, who has made more than 570 cave dives, just happened to work for the
He has a
company that
little
was having a
experience.
picnic there that day.
I immediately left and went down to the water feeling anger that this senseless tragedy was going to unfold itself again.
Because
It's deceptively easy to swim into the cave, and they simply don't appreciate the risk they're putting themselves in when they cross that barrier of darkness.
You got 3 divers over there?
Yes, I do. They're right down here in the water.
My presumptions were very much that they were in desperate trouble.
There we go. Oh, man.
I carry all my gear with me, but in cave diving, the chances of actually bringing off a rescue are almost non-existent. The
What?
reason is because there's just
He
not any
happens to
time.
carry it all with him?
Dude, he had his cave diving gear with him that day, random day in the park. How lucky.
Because the chances of a cave rescue, or like he said, would be like slim to none. I mean,
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
wait, so he happened to carry it, or did he say, I do carry my cave dive gear all the time?
No, I think he just happened to have it.
This is incredible.
I feel like I'm not committed enough to just happen to have my cave diving
Like, this is
gear with me.
unbelievable set of
This is
circumstances.
great. I'm telling you, when I
don't
saw
know
this,
if they
I'm like,
res-
we
by the
have
way,
to react to
And
it.
I have no
This is
idea if these
great.
guys got rescued. I've never
You've
seen
never
this.
seen this. I know.
I hope so. I really, really am hoping.
All right, let's keep watching.
The 3 trapped divers had only enough air to last an hour at
I don't even
most.
know what that is.
And under stress,
Batteries.
air is used up much
Right.
more rapidly.
Old school battery.
Okay, now this guy looks like he knows what he's
As
doing.
long as we had bubbles, we knew there were divers alive. I'm going, please hurry, please hurry, please hurry.
The time
around
had
with
been
two-
closing
Look what
on
it
an
took.
hour.
LP85.
Probably
down.
over.
Look like,
Overfill.
or
And even though
72.
the cave, in relative terms, is fairly shallow, that's still an awfully long time for open water divers to be down on a single tank.
Just
Okay,
walking
there's
around
still
with
bubbles.
2 steel tanks like no biggie.
I turned to Dan, and we
Wait till
just
he
kind of
goes
looked
in
at
there.
each other.
Maybe a silt that one.
The bubbles had stopped.
Bubbles stopped.
Oh no.
Some people said, well, what's the use? They've been down too long. But we had a chance. And Woody knew he had that chance. That's why he went down.
This is unbelievable.
Over the past 11 years, Woody had made 4 previous cave recoveries, but had never brought a diver out of the cave alive. When we continue,
So
That
a
can't
strong
feel
feeling
too
that if
good.
the mask and snorkel were there on the bottom, at least a body, if not bodies,
No
were going to be
way.
directly overhead on the ceiling.
And he went in knowing he's done 4, and all 4 have been
Bodies recovered.
bodies.
By the way, this is the kind of people that we have talked about in the past that are the unsung heroes of the cave diving industry. Like, no one knows who these rescues are, and they're the ones going in to recover these bodies. They're total legends, but nobody knows about them.
So true.
cave diving expert Woody Jasper was the only hope left for
But
the
Gus,
3 divers
wait, was
still
that
trapped
one
in
of the
underwater
divers'
cave.
mask and
The
snorkel?
spring
Yeah,
mouth
watch.
was significantly
back.
clearer than it had been just a few minutes before. That's indicative that there's
Float.
nobody stirring around. And it looked greatly like it was going to be a regular body recovery.
Woody had mapped part of this same cave system 10 years before and knew there was a safety line he could follow to get out.
Oh.
It's
Really?
a mapped cave. It was a mapped cave. And
About 40
he mapped
feet in
it.
from the entrance of the
Okay.
cave system, there's a fork where a tunnel goes to the left and another straight ahead. There was some silt still lingering, and it was coming from the left tunnel. So
That's
that
how
was
you know where they
the
were.
direction they had gone.
So there was a fork in the road. This one has silt. This one doesn't. They went left. Pretty smart.
Oh, look at that.
Most people who drown in underwater caves have become hopelessly lost. It's usually due to a sudden total loss of visibility. It's typical for divers at the last moments they have to start trying to throw their gear off. And when I saw that stuff, I took a moment to take a nice deep breath because I had a strong feeling that if the mask and snorkel were there on the bottom, that at least a body, if not bodies, were going to be directly overhead on the ceiling.
Oh,
So
man.
you just prepare yourself for that.
Can you imagine looking up at that moment? This is the quietest we've ever been on a React video
There
because
was a glimmer of a little small light and 4 legs with fins sticking down from the crevice in the top.
don't tell me there's an air pocket or something up there. Are they breathing?
I could see their bodies quite clearly except for their heads. And their heads were up into an air pocket that had been trapped from their own exhaust bubbles up there.
They're hanging on to
I took
that.
my second regulator and started hitting the purge button to try to let them know that I was there.
Do you know
What
how...
a stud.
Okay. Just stop
This
for a
is
second.
unbelievable.
First of all, how many times have you seen those air pockets in a cave? Enough to get your head up and breathe.
Not enough to get your head up and breathe.
I
But
don't
you
think
do
I've
see
seen
them.
that. No,
you
I
see the little pockets.
little bubbles, but
Yes.
a big void like that.
Not very common.
And I wonder if it had been heavy rains, if that would have not been there. I don't know if that. I'm sure, yeah, the cave would have been higher. So, and
Wow.
then he shoots his regulator up immediately, and he had the presence of mind to even know to go up. I mean, this is a very experienced.
Way above our level.
I mean, not even remotely close to our level.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay,
Way above our pay grade.
incredible, man.
And the fact that he saw them and he's immediately like, let me blow some fresh air, not only to let them know that I'm below them, but also because they're probably building that CO2,
Incredible.
breathing over and over and over in that hole. So he just blew fresh air just into them. I mean, yeah, this guy is amazing.
After 30 seconds or so of getting no response,
30 seconds.
I
Blow
took
it.
the only diver I could reach, and I began to remove him as rapidly as possible.
And put a reg in his mouth from my other tank, I guess.
It was a good 5 minutes before I seen bubbles coming out of the cave entrance. He come popping up out of the water with the body.
Unresponsive.
And it was Alan. People are screaming, he's not breathing, he doesn't have a heartbeat.
How can I go back?
We all pulled him out of the water, got him on the bank.
So he hasn't been breathing.
He was blue and his eyes were rolled back
Not
in his
breathing.
head. And they
No
were
pulse.
cloudy.
Man, do they have an
I
O2
knew
and an
That he was
AED?
dead.
I mean, zero chance, right?
We got
No
the
chance.
water out of his lungs.
Just pure
and
CPR,
we began
maybe.
CPR.
All right, 5 to 1. Okay. All right.
By the way, it was 5 to 1 then, look.
Kathy began
that funny? Different
compressions, and I was
procedures.
doing the breathing. We had
5
a
to
chance.
1.
We had to take that chance and run with it.
Now, by the way,
trained
pause
in
for a second.
CPR.
Now the procedures have changed dramatically for CPR. It's no longer that same procedure. It's actually 2 breaths because the chest compressions are by far the most important. 30 chest compressions.
That's right.
So 30 to 2. Then it was 5 to 1 because what we've learned is circulating the blood is the most important part.
That's right.
In fact, if you are going to abandon anything, it is the breaths, not the chest compressions.
Yep.
At a pace of somewhere between 100 to 110 chest compressions
Per minute.
about the theme of Saturday night, staying alive.
Yeah.
So anyway, just as a secondary comment, look how those procedures have changed.
Yep. So these guys are doing CPR on this Alan, the diver they brought out, and Woody went back in.
By their company, took turns working on the young man.
Breathe, Bobby, breathe.
They were Alan's only hope.
And obviously they're
Good
not
teamwork.
doing
But I really didn't think he
legit
was going to
CPR
make it.
because they're
That was
reenacting. But
very upsetting because I knew if he's that bad, the rest are that bad. And we just waited for the next body to be brought up.
They went right to CPR, and they knew how to give CPR.
that is good.
So that was
I
good.
was re-entering the cave to go
Good save.
do the second body
Here's Woody.
extraction.
Going for the
I
second
very
body.
much presumed that everyone had perished. As I swim into the dome room and start coming up into the crevice, I'm shining my light up, and this dead guy starts reaching around for me.
Wow. So he's alive. Regulator, boom. Oh, he's happy to breathe that man.
That was certainly the high point of the day to me, to realize this guy's still alive. I kept giving him a lot of reassurance, squeezing his hand, and he'd squeeze my hand back. We were both real glad that the other one was there.
Dude, I think if this happened to me in real life, I think my sack rate would go to like 3.
Anybody?
I mean, just the emotion of this guy's alive and I'm gonna get him out of here. I would be more nervous than him, I feel like.
All the air that I had expelled into that area when I was there the first time had revived him while I was gone.
This guy's breathing so heavy.
You
too.
heard what he said?
Yeah, he
He
blew
said
a lot
all
of
the
air.
air that I blew out revived him while I was gone. He was passed out,
Wow.
and all that air that he blew, all of a sudden, like,
Unbelievable. So he was having pure CO2 pass out, and that brought him back. But I bet he didn't have long before he was passing out again.
for sure,
Oh my goodness, that's unbelievable.
unreal. This video is amazing.
This is unbelievable, man.
It's
Seriously.
a great find.
This
I'm telling
is
you.
amazing.
I know. I wish they brought the show back. This is great.
This looks so
As we
real.
were breathing for Alan, we knew we were doing some good because his eyes were starting to clear up.
They continued to perform CPR, led by Ed Templeton.
I was compressing down on his chest. Then one of them says, "I've got a pulse."
Goodness, they bringing him
His
back.
heart hit the bottom of my hand and just pushed my hand up. It just came on that hard.
Wow. He starts spitting up. He's going to be
We moved him
recovery.
up further up the bank because we knew Woody would be coming out with someone else for too long.
And these guys were awesome.
I guess he still had a good bit of water in his lungs, but
Right.
he
what
was
I
fighting.
expect him
He
to
was
spit
fighting
up
to
water.
fight back.
When he took the first breath, Kathy asked me, she said, "Did you hear that?" And I said, "Yes, I hear it, and it's great." That's when somebody yelled that Woody was on his way up with another person. It was Chris. He was breathing on his own. He was alive. I couldn't believe that after being underwater anywhere from 85 to 95 minutes. It's just impossible.
I don't know how to react. It's so good in itself.
And he actually left the water.
Let's just let
on
people
his
watch
own.
with us.
He walked out.
I mean,
It was incredible.
Can you imagine how he
But
feels?
Ken Ives was still missing, somewhere in the
Back down.
caves.
He wasn't up in the hole.
As Woody went back down to get Ken, I'm thinking, all right, if they found air, maybe he found air.
Everything was turning to our favor. The CPR people were there. The rescue cave diver was there. Chris came up alive. Alan's alive. Ken has to be alive. That's what
Woody
I was
is
thinking.
a hero.
yeah.
He was back in that left tunnel. That would be logical. The guy would have gone to the same tunnel. Yeah. I'm sorry I'm so quiet, everybody. I'm as amazed as you are. Oh, man. There he is. Totally unresponsive. That's it, man. Gotta get him out. I don't think his regulator's in his mouth, so he didn't put one back in his mouth, which is actually protocol.
And Woody brought him up, and everybody's yelling, here he comes with the last one.
You could almost look at Ken and tell there was no hope, but we had to try. People were moving and moving fast.
They started working on him, and I say, maybe, just maybe.
We worked hard. We
He
tried.
must have been in there for 10,
Real
15,
hard.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
So who knows how
I
long.
just stood there and stared, and just couldn't believe what I was seeing. He was dead. And there's just no way of getting him back.
Paramedics from 3 counties responded. But despite their best efforts, they could not revive the 25-year-old man. Alan was still in critical condition.
I believe everybody who was involved has some guilt feeling. I will always wonder if I could have used the 400 pounds in my tank and found them. Or would I be just one more person down there?
Yeah,
I knew
I
for
actually
a fact-
think she would have died, too. If instead of getting the help that they got, 400 psi is nothing,
You got no.
literally.
And
I mean,
you would have been breathing and nervous, and
yeah,
she would have died. She should
would have
not have gone
drowned with
back
them.
in. And remember, she's not cave certified.
that's right.
So you
And
never
she had
do
no
that.
light.
No. She
It would have
definitely
been a
made the right
suicide mission.
decision.
Yeah.
Look, she actually did 2 good things, right? She told them to come up, like, don't go
Don't
in
go there.
and didn't go back in. It's really easy for us to second guess and say maybe she should have then made sure they were coming up, but they gave her yep, no problem, we get it, time to go up. So I think as a reasonable person, I would have been like, okay, they're coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really faulting her too much.
No. It's,
Are you? I mean,
no.
I don't think so.
For sure.
Fact that was something I shouldn't have done. Cave diving is for only the experienced.
Yes.
Because I'll tell you, there's nothing in there that's worth a person's life.
I get real angry because there really isn't any reason for this to happen. Training is available, it's economical. To simply swim in without proper equipment and training is unconscionable. It is unnecessary, and it's a terrible waste.
It's going to Shands.
25-year-old Alan
University-
Welch was airlifted to a hospital.
University of Florida's
Both lungs were
hospital.
partially collapsed, and doctors feared he had suffered brain damage.
Mm.
He was placed in the hyperbaric chamber.
I guess the hyperbaric chamber
In the 2 months since the
dealt with
accident,
giving him
Alan has made
a
complete
high level
recovery.
of continual
But he never
oxygen
wants
under
to die
pressure.
again.
That's right.
But I don't know if he was bad.
His mother
But maybe
Lois
if he was down there
also
that long,
cannot
they
forget
figured
what
out. They figured he had a lot of bubbling on the way up. Also,
That's true.
He was in pain and it hurt him to breathe.
this is
Every time I look at him,
Wow.
I think how close we came to losing him.
The timing was
okay.
perfect. The people were there in the park having their picnic.
that's him.
It's amazing, all the different things that fell into place.
They jumped right in and did what they had to do and knew what they had to do. They brought me my son back, and I can't thank them enough.
I wonder if he ever became a cave diver.
I would never think about giving up diving.
Oh, here we go.
I just really won't ever go into a cave again.
The air pocket helped Chris Gallup and Alan survive, but it was the heroism of strangers that saved their lives.
100%.
I really do feel grateful to Woody and all of his buddies that helped, because if they hadn't have been there,
No way.
none of us would have made it out.
No way.
They would have all been dead.
No
None of
question. They weren't even trying to get out.
Yeah, they were on.
They were frozen there.
Yeah, on a hole.
Sometimes when
And
I drive by
We don't
Ken's
know.
old
Were they
house,
out of air?
think
They
about
probably. We don't know
He
what
was
they
a
had
good
in their
friend,
tank.
you know,
Yeah,
and
they
they
were out
were
of
out
air
of air.
because they were
but
breathing.
each day it gets a little better. As long as I remember him, he's still around.
Now,
So that's it.
I wonder if do you think you would want to, after something like that traumatic happened, do you think you would want to get the training to be a cave diver, or would it just be too traumatic that you never want to go back in a cave again? And then, by the way, you don't have to answer that. I mean, it's a hypothetical question.
Yeah.
It's an unfair question because you can't imagine the fear that they did. One of them was revived from dying.
Yeah, he was gone.
He was dead, and they brought him back. So
Yeah. Yeah, this guy. The last guy that we saw. I don't know, man. Like, it's hard to say. I feel like if something like that happened, I'm just going to name like skydiving, which I've never done. If I went skydiving and I'm brand new or whatever, and I do something so stupid that they have to bring me back from the dead, I don't know if I'm going to want to go and get certified and try again or whatever.
because maybe at that point you just think this is so dangerous.
Yeah.
No matter what training you may be able to give me, I don't believe it's ever safe. That
Yeah.
probably would dawn on you, but you know,
Just
it was
an
hard to
interesting-
react to it because
Yeah.
it was so well done. I really feel like that this was happening, and I'm just trying to imagine myself. I mean, I'm not trying to be over dramatic here, but I'm telling you, man, your adrenaline and your emotions and everything would be flying. You're supposed to stay calm in all situations, but when you see them and you know you're the only one there that can go back and get that next body. There was nobody else other than Woody, not
Right.
me, that Woody, to do it. What an emotional feeling that must be.
Yeah. I don't know if you were at Ginny the day where I had to go into Little Devil because apparently like a free diver went down and didn't come up. Were you there that day?
I don't recall that.
Okay, maybe it was because I know I've
The
done
crack down in there at the beginning?
Yeah. I've done one or two trips where you were like busy doing something else.
I don't remember that.
But anyway, we were done with the dive, and we were back at the stairs or whatever where we undo everything, and I was the last one in the group, and I was the one who had the most gear on, and I see that there's this family. And in Spanish, because I speak Spanish, they were telling each other, like, oh, my God, he hasn't come out again. Like, what's going on? Like, where is he? Like, they were very, very concerned. So in Spanish, I tell them, it's like, what's going on? And they were like, well, there was a guy that went down there into the crack, Little Devil, 5 minutes ago, and he hasn't come up.
A long time.
So I'm like, was he a diver? I asked if he was a diver, and they were like, well, he had like a mask and snorkel and fins, but he didn't have a tank. So he was a free diver. I know free divers can go down for a few minutes, but 5 minutes in that crack doesn't sound like the right thing.
Right.
So I literally had to put like my mask back on or whatever, the couple of things that I had removed, and go into the crack to look for this guy. And I mean, we looked and looked and looked. I started about 3 or 4 minutes later, some other guy joined me. Like, he started also putting his gear on, but I was closer than everybody. So the two of us looked all over the place, like, and it started to get sketchy
and
because
it's not
that crack,
big in there, but it's tiny.
but
back in
yeah,
there.
but when you get to the bottom, it kind of opens up into like a little cave. And we couldn't find anybody, and we just came up and we were like, yeah, we couldn't find them, and they were like, I can swear that somebody went in there 5 minutes ago, and we never saw him come out. And I'm like, there's nobody there. I mean, I couldn't see anybody. But it was
ever hear the result of
the
it?
mindset. No, but the mindset of it, of going down to look for somebody who could be dead at the bottom. There's a lot of stuff that rushes through your head, you know. And I was the first one going down there. And I'm like, what am I going to do? If there's a dead body there, am I supposed not to touch it because it's police evidence? Do I bring it back up and then get involved in whatever
bring
that
it
is?
back up and try to revive.
So I decided if I find him, I'm going to bring him up. You know,
for sure.
whatever happens, if I end up, whatever, I don't know, on a police investigation of some kind, so be it. But I need to help. And yeah, we didn't find anybody. Yeah. But it's interesting what rushes through your head when that happens.
I'm sure.
And you've done other rescues as well. But
I have, and your training is imperative and will take over.
Yeah.
So when you think that these things aren't important, and a lot of people ask me, you know, why do I love to teach the rescue class over and over? And honestly, selfishly, it's to make sure I stay proficient with that stuff. It helps me as much as the students. But wow, Gus, this was quite the find. I mean,
amazing.
It spoke for itself. A lot of the reaction was hard to talk during it.
But I think it wasn't the reason why I wanted to show you, and I knew there wasn't a lot that we can add to it, is because he serves as a lesson for people watching this. If you're an open water diver, don't go into a cave. And I know we've said this before, but this really actually happened. Somebody died. Somebody else died and was brought to life. And the other guy survived just because Woody actually blew some air into this hole and magically this guy woke up again.
Amazing.
So this could have been a situation where an entire group of divers would have died. And I felt like this would be a good opportunity for people watching this channel to learn, you know, that this happens in real life.
Incredible.
So,
by the way, Lamar would be wonderful to have on the show at some point.
Oh my God, I would love to.
He's a pretty awesome guy. He would come on.
Oh man,
I met him quite a few times, and he's a
great.
gem.
He's awesome. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, it wasn't as funny. We didn't laugh a whole lot. I don't think once in this whole video, but I felt like it would be important for you guys to enjoy it and for Woody to watch it because you had never seen it before.
Yeah.
And I just think it's such a gem. I wish I wish this was more popular because, you know, people out there are, you know, diving looking for cell phones and they have millions of views, and then these guys that are legit heroes have only a handful. Wish videos like this were more popular.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you.
Because people
Thank
can
you
learn from it. But
thanks.
We'll see you next week on yet
guys.
another Cave Diver Reacts.
Thank you.